is not present. When oxygen is not present, pyruvate enters a separate pathway which is called as fermentation. And a lot of you are familiar with fermentation. Bread rises due to fermentation. Alcohol is made due to fermentation. So very important product that are formed through this alternative pathway. The alternative pathway does not use oxygen or electron transfer, so it does not produce a lot of energy as the previous cycles we did. However, it has different end products. The end products during anaerobic respiration are lactate and ethyl alcohol. Lactate is lactic acid, which is also produced when you have muscle cramps during heavy exercise. So the muscle cramp that you get is because of the accumulation of lactic acid or lactate in your muscles. Ethyl alcohol is produced or it's called as ethanol, is produced during brewery and beer manufacturers and so forth. And the carbon dioxide that is released during this process is what makes bread rise. Now, this is an alternative pathway, a more primitive pathway in organisms that did not have mitochondria. So if you think about it, some of the primitive archaeas and the bacteria did not have mitochondria, and they would undergo only these process of anaerobic respiration, which is fermentation, to yield only 2 ATPs per glucose molecule. So to conclude, remember, when your muscles are aching or you get a twitch in your skeletal muscles, it's because of lactic acid fermentation. Also, during starvation or excessive fasting, the body starts breaking down, and there's no oxygen, so you will eventually start using up your glucose under this fermentation pathway. So in conclusion, I would say respiration is a very important step that is carried out both in prokaryotes and in the eukaryote. It begins in the cytoplasm, in which glucose is broken down by enzymes into 2 pyruvate molecules with a net gain of 2 ATPs at this stage. Subsequently, more biochemical reactions take place within mitochondria, producing more ATPs within the Krebs cycle, and the most number of ATPs are produced during the final stage, which is the electron transport chain. This 3-step process is the most efficient energy releasing pathway in the living world. The alternative pathway, which uses less energy, is the pathway in which is the fermentation, where either you will have ethanol or lactic acid. So here you have learned in this section some of the chemical bases of respiration. Please take some good notes while you have listened to this lecture, and I would strongly suggest please go and watch the animations on this lecture.